बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। आज एक नई सीरीज़ की शुरुआत कर रहे हैं जिसमें हम नोटिंग और ड्राफ्टिंग को कवर करने की कोशिश करेंगे। इसमें सबसे पहले हम नोटिंग को कवर करेंगे कि ऑफिशियल नोटिंग क्या है। इस सिलसिले में इस लेक्चर को इन टॉपिक्स में डिवाइड किया गया है कि इसमें सबसे पहले हम इंट्रोडक्शन, फिर डिफिनीशन ऑफ द नोट, when note is required, when note is not required, requirement of a note, objectives of a note, advantages of a note, structure of a note, good noting, bad noting, checks and counter checks। इसमें हमने इस लेक्चर को तकसीम किया है और इसको डिटेल के साथ आगे जाके डिस्कस करते हैं। सबसे पहले इंट्रोडक्शन है। A note is a statement of facts describing the issue under consideration, suggesting course of action to reach a decision. Note is the minutes recorded on the note portion of the file to settle a matter while remaining in the framework of rules and regulations. A note is initiated usually by a grade 17 officer in the Federal Secretariat on file describing the case which is under consideration. 2 or 3 alternatives can be proposed to settle the issue. नोट बेसिकली फाइल के नोट पोर्शन पे एक ग्रेड 17 इसको इनिशिएट करता है और रूल्स रेगुलेशन के अंदर रहते हुए 2 या 3 अल्टरनेटिव्स प्रोवाइड करता है हाई अप्स को कि इस मसले में ये कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन है कि हाई अप्स को डिसीजन करने में आसानी हो। डेफिनेशन इसकी कुछ यूं है। A note means an officer's views in writing on a file with a prescribed procedural framework and rules to facilitate the high-ups to decide the case under consideration। बहुत सिंपल है। When noting is required, whenever a condition arises that a matter is to be decided by a senior officer, a note is recorded on a file. It is always prepared within certain procedural framework, such as it should clearly state the point under consideration. Brief background of the case may also be given in order to highlight the facts of the case. Misstatement of facts, if any, should also be pointed out while writing a note. After a brief description of the facts of the case, the rules, regulations that are applicable in the case under consideration are mentioned. A copy of the relevant rules is often placed in the correspondence portion. Relevant precedents may also be quoted if required. In the final portion of a note, the points for decisions are highlighted again and course of action is suggested. In this regard, you may propose a few alternates and suggest the best course of action. When noting is not required, no noting is required when the officer himself is competent to dispose of a matter under certain clear-cut instructions, orders, or delegated powers. Similarly, when a case is already decided by a senior officer and he has asked for a draft reply, the noting is not required unless there is any point which has been escaped from the notice of the senior officer. Requirement of a note. All notes are written on the note sheet and no note should be recorded on the receipt itself. If a higher officer has given some minutes on the receipt, these should be copied out on the note sheet before subsequent notes are recorded. The officer recording the note should affix his signature on the right side of the note sheet where the note ends. Her name, designation and date should also be typed or rubber stamped before her signature। ये बहुत जरूरी है। Objective of a note क्या है? A note is written to assist the competent authority to decide a matter easily. It helps the seniors to study the whole picture of a case as portrayed by the junior officers. The decision of the matter is the end point of a note. A well-written note leads to correct decision, and a badly composed note may lead to confusion, wastage of time, and ultimately to a bad or wrong decision. Advantages of noting. It presents the various aspects of a matter in a clear perspective and bring out pros and cons of the point under consideration. It put down the views of the writer in black and white and records the precise reason for adopting a particular course of action considered to be the best out of all possible courses. A note is a record of decision leading to a particular decision. It can be used as precedent for future references. Recorded notes help in understanding reasons for a particular decision and in finding out at what level the decision was taken. Responsibility for a particular decision can be fixed on the basis of recorded note. Note enables people who come afterwards to pick up the tasks where other left. A note is a historical record and source of information for the coming officials. Structure of a note. A note has three main parts. First part में क्या होता है? It gives the brief introduction of the case under consideration. Second part, main points, misstatement of facts if any, relevant rules, policy of government, precedents if any. ये second part का हिस्सा होते हैं. Third part is the conclusion. It may be in the form of a proposal or recommendation or suggestion. Qualities of good noting. Paragraphs of a note should be numbered continuously from the beginning onwards. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है इसलिए कि हर पैराग्राफ को फ्यूचर में रेफरेंस दिया जा सकता है. It should be temperate, objective and free from personal remarks. It should embody all the relevant material about a case concisely, but should not repeat facts, arguments, words, and phrases. There should be sequence in narration. The points which should be stated in the beginning must be so stated, and those which should appear in the end must come at the end. The disjoint statement of facts will confuse the reader. The expression should be clear, precise, and simple. It should be properly documented and referenced. All previous papers, precedents, rules and regulations, orders, etc., which are relied upon in a note should, as far as possible, be put up with it and referenced. Bad noting. Reproduction of PUC or FR should be avoided. The case under consideration should be explained briefly in your own words. Unnecessary details and information contribute to bad noting. Incorrect statement and unauthenticated facts lead to wrong decision and therefore aids to bad noting. Personal bias and prejudice make a note bad. Use of flowery language, long sentences, and foreign words are considered bad noting. Checks and counterchecks. Read the PUC carefully. It will help you to understand the procedure to be adopted for settling a matter. Know the facts of the case. Your personal interest in the case will help you to find out any misstatement of facts or data. Review the pertinent files relevant to the case and search out the rules, regulations that are applicable in the case. The policy of the government should also be kept in mind while writing a note. Do not forget to mention the misstatement of facts or data, if any, in your note. Review grammar, spelling, and punctuation remarks of your note before signing it. Make sure that the file is properly referenced and flagged before its submission to the higher officer. थैंक यू वेरी मच। किसी भी किस्म के क्वेश्चंस के लिए कमेंट्स में आप पूछ सकते हैं।